My name's Ian Douglas Hamilton. I'm the director of Save the Elephants, and we're very excited because we're about to start a new project with Purdue University and with the Globe Foundation. The idea is to use the technology of advanced radio tracking. Here you have some of the most interesting devices for tracking elephants, which we've been doing for 10 years now. And in the ecosystem in northern Kenya where we're working, we realize that for the future of elephants and other wildlife, we need to have a good relationship with the pastoralists, people like the Samburu, who have many cattle. The cattle have a special relationship with the wildlife. And now, in this new venture, we're going to start tracking cattle. We're about to start a pilot project, and this will be the first attempt, as far as I know, ever made to track livestock across Africa. In this place where we stand, there is a huge, wide open ecosystem with no fences, and the cattle and the wildlife are all intermingled, coexisting. So what we're going to do is we're going to adapt these collars. What these collars can do is to pinpoint the position of an animal using GPS technology. They listen to the satellites, they pinpoint the elephant, and they store the information on a chip. That then gets relayed through a mobile cell telephone which is embedded inside the collar, and out it sends a text message of the position of the animal every hour on the hour. This is very powerful. It gives us a continuous record of the animal movement. What we've found from our elephant research and working in this county council reserve is that the wildlife numbers are hugely affected by livestock. Where you get a lot of livestock, there are very few wildlife, and where the wildlife are excluded, there are plenty of wild animals, as in the heart of the reserves. However, the pastoralists, like the Samburu and the wildlife, have coexisted for thousands of years, and it's largely due to the fact that the Samburu do not eat wildlife meat, that you have such amazing quantities of wildlife today in northern Kenya. So the question is, what can be done to bring a benefit that will be great both for the wildlife and for the people? The answer seems to be the right kind of ecotourism. And there's a big initiative now which is actually supported by the Globe Foundation and by Purdue University to set up a Northern Rangelands Trust. The idea is that negotiations are made with different pastoral communities, and they are helped to build lodges or to bring tourists onto their land. And now we need a right kind of balance between the livestock, which is the main life source for the pastoral people, and the supplementary income that can come from the very, very valuable tourism. And in understanding this, already there have been negotiations to talk with local communities, and in some places they've lowered their numbers of livestock, in other places they keep their livestock, but they're now getting the potential for the best of both worlds, to have both the wildlife and the livestock. This is the ecosystem we're talking about. It's a huge, wonderful, wild part of northern Kenya, and it's about, say, 30,000 square kilometers. There are three areas we're really interested in: Ilengwezi, Samburu National Reserve, and Namanyak. And in the pilot project, which we're putting together now with Purdue University and the Globe Trust, Save the Elephants will track cattle for the first time here, here, and here. That information will be related to the movements of elephants and other wildlife in order to get a really fine idea of how the two interrelate. What is going to be very necessary is to have a complete understanding between the participants, which will involve local initiatives like NRT and the communities that live there, together with scientists and world-class centers of excellence like Purdue University doing the modelling. And this information on the movements will give us a whole new level of understanding. We're going to start with a pilot project, and it'll involve just a few collars spread out over 3 different localities. We'll see how it goes, and my belief is that this could well end up as a standardized method of monitoring that everybody will consider to be essential. We've made a good start with wildlife, now we're on to the livestock.